Hello, my friends, and welcome back. I am really happy you are here today. Before we begin, I want to say something important. The fact that you are here, listening, trying, showing up, that already means something. Many people want to improve their English, but they never start. You started. That is not small. That is everything. Today, we are going to do something a little different. We are going to learn English the way children learn their first language. Not by memorizing rules, not by studying grammar tables, not by translating every word in your head. We are going to learn by listening, feeling, and speaking along. This method has a name. It is called shadowing. And by the end of this episode, you will understand exactly what shadowing is, why it works so powerfully, and how you can use it starting today to sound more natural, more confident, and more fluent in English. But first, let me tell you a story. A real kind of story, the kind that many English learners know very well. There was a young woman. Her name is not important. What is important is that she studied English for 7 years. 7 years of classes, textbooks, grammar exercises, vocabulary lists. She could read English well. She could write English well. But when someone spoke to her in English, something happened inside her. Her heart beat faster. Her mind went blank. The words she knew disappeared. She opened her mouth and nothing came out, or what came out sounded nothing like the English she heard in movies or podcasts. She felt embarrassed. She felt like all those years of studying had been wasted. She thought the problem was her. Maybe she was not smart enough. Maybe she was not a language person. Maybe English speaking was simply not for her. Does this sound familiar? Maybe you have felt this too. Maybe you have studied for a long time and you still feel that gap, that distance between the English in your head and the English that comes out of your mouth. That feeling is one of the most common experiences among English learners all over the world. And here is something very important I want you to hear. The problem is not you. The problem is the method. You see, reading English and speaking English are two completely different skills. They use different parts of your brain. They require different kinds of practice. If you only read and study, your brain learns to recognize English. But recognizing something and producing it are not the same. A person who watches someone ride a bicycle every day does not automatically know how to ride one themselves. You have to get on the bicycle. You have to feel the balance. You have to fall a few times. That is how the body learns. And language works the same way. Shadowing is how you get on the bicycle. So what is shadowing exactly? Shadowing is when you listen to English being spoken and you speak along at the same time, not after. At the same time, you follow the speaker like a shadow follows a person. You copy the rhythm. You copy the speed. You copy the music of the words. You copy the way the voice goes up here and down there. You are not just repeating words. You are training your mouth, your breath, your tongue, your whole speaking system to move the way natural English moves. When you shadow regularly, something beautiful begins to happen. English stops feeling like a foreign code you have to translate. It starts to feel like something your body knows, like a song you have heard so many times that it just comes out of you naturally. That is fluency, not perfect grammar, not a big vocabulary. Fluency is when the language moves through you without friction. Now, I want you to notice something about how you are listening to me right now. I am speaking slowly. I am choosing simple words. I am pausing between ideas. This is not an accident. This is done for you on purpose. Because when you are learning to shadow, the most important thing is that you understand what is being said while it is being said, not after. While. If the speech is too fast, your brain spends all its energy just trying to catch the words. There is no space left to also practice speaking. So we go slowly, we go clearly, and slowly over time, your ear and your mouth will become used to more speed, more variety, more natural pace. Let us continue our story. The young woman we talked about earlier, she discovered shadowing by accident. She was watching a show in English with subtitles, and one day, without thinking, she started speaking along quietly. She was not trying to study. She was just doing it. and she noticed something. The words felt different in her mouth when she said them at the same time as the speaker. They felt alive. They felt connected, not like words on a page, like sound that meant something. She started doing it on purpose after that. Every day, 10 minutes. She would choose one short video or podcast, something she enjoyed, something at a comfortable level, and she would shadow it. Some days it felt strange. Some days she felt silly talking to a screen. Some days she could not keep up. But she kept going, not because it was always easy, because she could feel something changing, slowly, quietly, like a plant growing underground before you see it above the surface. After 3 months, something shifted. She was in a conversation with a colleague who spoke English, and she noticed she was not translating in her head anymore. The words were just coming, not perfectly, but coming. Her colleague said, "Your English sounds so natural now. What happened?" She smiled. She said, "I just started listening more carefully and speaking more often." That was true. But it was also more than that. She had trained her body. She had rewired the connection between hearing and speaking. She had built a new habit inside herself. This is what shadowing does. This is what is possible for you. Now, in this episode, we are going to do shadowing together. I will tell you a story, a simple story, a story about everyday life. As I tell it, I want you to shadow me. Speak along quietly, or in your full voice if you can. Do not worry about being perfect. Do not stop every time you miss a word. Keep moving forward. Keep your voice connected to mine. Even if you are half a second behind, that is fine. Keep going. The goal is not perfection. The goal is practice. Before we start, here are 3 simple tips for shadowing well. First, choose your environment. Try to be somewhere quiet where you are not embarrassed to speak out loud. Your room, a quiet corner. Anywhere you feel comfortable making sound. Second, do not read along if you can avoid it. Listening and speaking together is the full exercise. Reading while you shadow is easier, but it uses a different part of the brain. Try to stay with the sound. Third, repeat the same section more than once. The first time, focus on understanding. The second time, focus on following. The third time, focus on feeling natural. 3 times is enough to begin feeling the difference. Are you ready? Let us go into the story now. And remember, you are not just a listener today. You are a speaker. Your voice matters. Your practice matters. Every sentence you shadow today is one more step toward the English speaker you are becoming. The story is called A Morning That Changed Everything. Here we go. It was an ordinary Tuesday morning, the kind of morning where nothing special was supposed to happen. Mia woke up at 7, as she always did. She made her coffee slowly, watching the steam rise from the cup. Outside her window, the city was beginning to wake up. Cars moved quietly below. A bird sat on the thin branch of the tree near her balcony and then flew away without looking back. Mia watched it go. She thought, "I wish I could do that. Just go." Without worrying, without planning every single step. She had been living in this city for 2 years. She came for work. She stayed because leaving felt harder than staying. That is how many things in life work. We do not always choose where we are. Sometimes we just stop moving, and the place becomes home before we notice. Mia worked at a small translation company. She translated documents from English into her native language all day. Words were her job. But speaking, real speaking, face to face, voice to voice, that was something different. That was something that still made her nervous. That morning something unusual happened. Her manager sent a message. It said, "Mia, we have a new client coming in today. They speak only English. I need you to be in the meeting." Mia read the message 3 times. Her coffee went cold. She sat very still. A meeting, in English, speaking, out loud, with a real person who did not know her, who had no reason to be patient with her mistakes. She felt that familiar tightness in her chest, that voice inside her that said, "You are not ready. You will embarrass yourself. You will forget every word you know." But then something else happened. A quieter voice, a newer voice, the one that had been growing slowly over the past few months. That voice said, "You have been practicing. You have been showing up. You are more ready than you think." Mia closed her eyes for one moment. She breathed slowly. She said to herself, "I do not need to be perfect. I just need to be present." She picked up her cold coffee, took a sip anyway, and got ready for the day. Now, I want you to pause for one moment with me here. Did you notice what Mia did? She did not pretend the fear was not there. She did not push it away or tell herself to stop being silly. She felt it, she acknowledged it, and then she chose to move anyway. This is one of the most important things about language learning and about life. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking one step, even when fear is standing right beside you. When you shadow today and your voice feels shaky, that is courage. When you speak and you make a mistake and you keep going, that is courage. You do not need to wait until you feel confident. You become confident by doing the thing before you feel ready. Let us continue the story. The client's name was James. He was tall, spoke quickly, and smiled often. He shook Mia's hand at the door and said, "Great to meet you. I have heard wonderful things." Mia smiled back and said, "Thank you, me too." It was a simple sentence, 4 words, but she said them clearly. She said them without freezing. She said them, and the world did not end. James nodded and walked into the meeting room. Mia followed. Her heart was still beating fast, but her feet were moving forward. During the meeting, there were moments she understood everything, and moments she caught only half. There were moments she spoke smoothly, and moments she had to ask James to repeat himself. Each time she asked, he smiled and said, "Of course, no problem at all." He never looked impatient. He never made her feel small, and slowly, as the meeting moved forward, Mia began to relax. Not completely, but enough. Enough to think, enough to respond, enough to be useful. At the end of the meeting, James stood up and said, "This was really productive. I look forward to working with your team." He looked at Mia and added, "And your English is excellent, by the way." Mia blinked. She said, "Thank you. I am still learning." James laughed warmly. He said, "We are all still learning. That is the whole point." She walked home that evening feeling something she had not felt in a long time. Not pride exactly, something quieter than pride, something more like relief. Like a door had opened that she had been standing in front of for years, too afraid to push. She had pushed. The door opened. The room on the other side was not terrifying. It was just a room, with people in it, and light. Now let us come back together from the story. I want to ask you something. Did you shadow along? Did your voice follow mine through Mia's morning, through her fear, through the meeting, through that walk home? If you did, I want you to notice what just happened. You just practiced real English, natural English. Not a grammar exercise, not a vocabulary list. A real human story with rhythm and emotion and meaning. Your mouth moved with mine. Your breath followed the sentences. Your ear and your voice worked together. That is the method. That is why it works. Now let me give you your practice plan for this week. It is simple. Do not make it complicated. Complicated plans do not survive contact with real life. Simple ones do. Here's what I want you to do. Every day this week, come back to this episode. Choose one part of the story, just one. Shadow it 3 times. First time, listen only. Second time, shadow quietly. Third time, shadow with your full voice. That is it. 10 minutes, every day, 7 days. At the end of the week, come back and listen to the whole episode from beginning to end without stopping. Notice how much more natural it feels. Notice how much more your mouth already knows. Small practice done consistently will always beat large practice done occasionally. Always. This is true for English. This is true for every skill you will ever build. The people who become fluent are not the ones who study hardest for 1 week and then stop. They are the ones who do a little every day without quitting. You can be that person. You already are that person, because you are here, because you listened to the end. One last thing before we close today. I want to speak to the part of you that still feels unsure, the part that wonders if this is really working, the part that compares your English to someone else's and feels behind. Here is what I want you to know. Your English journey is not a race. There is no finish line where someone hands you a certificate and says, "Congratulations, you are now fluent." You may stop trying. Language is alive. It grows with you. Every conversation you have, every episode you shadow, every sentence you speak into a quiet room when no one is watching, all of it is building something inside you. You may not see it yet, but it is there. Growing. The same way that bird outside Mia's window did not worry about whether its wings were good enough. It simply opened them and flew. So open your voice. Shadow the story again. Come back tomorrow and the day after. Keep listening, keep repeating, keep growing. You are not behind. You are exactly where your practice has brought you. And from here, the only direction is forward. Until next time, my friends, keep your voice moving and trust the process. Bye for now.